starts now.
And right now at 7 o'clock, Metra service resumes in the Chicago Ridge area after a train derailment.
The Chicago woman shot by a Border Patrol agent is taking steps toward filing a lawsuit.
And taking a live look outside this morning, chilly start to the day. But Mike says we have a nice warm-up on the way, especially starting tomorrow. So we thank you for joining us here at 7 o'clock. Mike, how warm are we talking today versus tomorrow?
About a 10-degree bump tomorrow from where we are today. Normal highs right around 35 today. We're going to beat that. It will be a little cooler at the lakefront today. Lakeside cooling, something we usually see in spring, right? All right, let's get to it. Today, not as perfectly sunny as yesterday, but as that live shot we just had reflects, you're going to see some sun through the high clouds. Happy birthday to this guy, Abraham Lincoln's birthday on February 12th. Today, we start with some chilly temperatures at 9, still right around 31, but the thaw will be well underway at noon with 38 degrees, and at 4 o'clock, still melting with maybe a little bit more in the way of sunshine and 40 degrees. 25 at O'Hare, some of those high clouds out there. We have a north wind at 5, wind chill is 19. That's about as cold a wind chill as we're going to see anytime soon. 30 at Midway, only 18 though at Valparaiso, 22 at Woodstock, headed away from the lake into the low 40s this afternoon. Let's get you started out this morning. Anthony Ponce picking up the traffic detail.
Okay, we're having a couple of issues with the computer itself, so I don't have drive times right now. I will say things have been going great until things started going southbound Lakeshore Drive, not doing well anymore. There's an accident that has the 2 left lanes blocked. Let's see, right at LaSalle. So that's where that North Avenue pedestrian bridge over Lakeshore Drive. The 2 left lanes are blocked inbound there. And also there's an accident apparently involving a pedestrian up north right near Barry. So that's just south of Irving Park Road. So again, problems on southbound Lakeshore Drive. Looking at the maps, the other expressways seem to be doing well. There's no major accidents, although there are some slowdowns on especially the inbound Kennedy and also the inbound Stevenson. We will get to those drive times during our next report.
Service, though, on the Southwest Metro line is resuming this morning.
Yes, this is great news after that massive train derailment brought train traffic to a complete standstill right near Chicago Ridge yesterday. We're checking in with Roseanne Tellez with our update this morning. Totally different story this morning, right, Roseanne?
Yes, the tracks are clear, the schedule's back on the board, and trains are rolling once again with minor delays. Let's take the picture, the view from Air Fox this morning, where you can see those clear tracks. And also crews still on the scene. Just some wheels from the trains off to the side of the tracks, but it is a nice clear scene. So again, service is back on track. The first Metro train arriving at the Chicago Ridge station at 5:30 this morning. Now, passengers boarded that number 800 train headed to Union Station after so many turned to the L, Uber, or working from home yesterday. Crews worked through the night. They're still at work this morning after 10 cars of a freight train left the rails yesterday between Ridgeland and Central Avenues. It happened at the intersection of CSX and Metra tracks, which Metra says were both damaged, along with switches and signals. Now, riders are mostly relieved today, but they also have some questions.
I thought, how could that happen?
Were you a little nervous they'd be back on track today?
Yes, I was.
It was a big freight, a heavy freight. I mean, I really don't know what happened with that one. So, with that derailment. So it makes me nervous, but, I don't think it's happened. I've only been on this line about 2 years, so this is the first major thing that ever I got affected by.
Okay, back live now. The train has just arrived to pick up passengers this morning. This train headed to Orland Park, and just a really welcome sight for all of these commuters heading out this morning. And Metro once again saying there are minor delays, but service is fully restored. Now back to you in the studio.
Lots of employees of the year there
sure.
getting that derailment all fixed up. Thanks so much, Roseanne. A Chicago man has been sentenced in a 2020 double homicide in Chinatown. 26-year-old Alvin Thomas was sentenced to life in prison. Prosecutors say Thomas approached two men and two women in a parking lot of an apartment complex in Chinatown. They say that he tried to rob all of them and then shot the men when they resisted. Those men died. The victim's family is happy to finally have closure, but Thomas's family says he was not trying to rob them. They say he was drunk and looking for help.
A Monday morning school walkout in Aurora to protest federal immigration enforcement turned violent, according to one family. It was all caught on camera. Here's the video. One of the teens seen in that video had to be rushed to the hospital. Aurora police say officers were responding to multiple coordinated walkouts involving about 1,500 students. And they say some of those students moved into traffic, blocked vehicles, and fights broke out, creating unsafe conditions. The mother of 15-year-old Yuviel Perez Soto says her son was peacefully protesting, as were hundreds of other students, when they say he was tackled for no reason.
In that moment, he was grabbing me by my sweater and he spun me around. Then some random officers they came out of nowhere and just tackled me to the ground. They were putting all their weight on me and I couldn't breathe. I told them get off me because I couldn't breathe at all. I couldn't breathe. I just woke up and then they grabbed me. They put me back in the back of the van.
Students and community members gathered outside the Aurora Police Department demanding that all charges against the three teenagers be dropped. They are also calling for accountability from police. More than a week after police believe that she was taken from her home against her will, officers from multiple agencies, they're still working hard, searching for signs to point them safely to Nancy Guthrie.
Caroline Elliott is in Tucson this morning. Caroline, teams searching a desert area near a roadway found something very peculiar yesterday. What do we know about that?
And that would probably go up to the FBI director's office.
Yeah, Natalie, Anthony, we know that investigators found a pair of black gloves, about a mile away from Nancy Guthrie's home yesterday. And that area, it's a road called Campbell Avenue. It's one of those main roads going through this area. And now investigators are trying to see if those gloves possibly belong to the same person standing in that surveillance video on Nancy Guthrie's front porch. To get that information, investigators are going to have to start that DNA analysis process. So unclear exactly what they will find there. Only time will tell. But we'll also add that about 2 hours ago, we also saw investigators back in that same general area conducting another search this morning.
Caroline, there's also talk about a possible suspicious vehicle. What do we know about that?
Yeah, we know that the Pima County Sheriff's Department is now saying that there is possibly a suspicious vehicle in this area. We will tell you they're now asking neighbors to check any kind of cameras they might have on their house that could have spotted this vehicle. And they're asking people to look at the specific time frame between 9 p.m. to midnight on January 11th and also 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. on January 31st. We will tell you, we know investigators are looking through 18,000 tips that they've received since this investigation started, so possibly looking at every single lead that could come through.
And speaking of leads, TMZ got this initial alleged ransom note, and then they got a follow-up letter. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we saw reporting from TMZ yesterday that they got a third letter around 10 a.m. local time here. So again, TMZ is saying that this letter was someone claiming that they knew who the kidnapper was in this case. And in exchange for that information, they were asking for 1 Bitcoin. The person that wrote this letter also added that they've tried to contact the Guthrie family but couldn't get in contact, so they wanted to do it this way instead. We'll also add that investigators have not said whether they believe that letter was authentic or any of the ransom notes for that matter.
Caroline Elliott, hopefully closer to an end to this case. Thank you so much. Back here at home, the Chicago woman shot by a Border Patrol agent is filing a federal complaint.
Brian Jackson is in studio with the very latest here. Brian?
Well, you guys, this is just the first step towards a lawsuit seeking tens of millions of dollars. Attorneys for Miramar Martinez point to the body camera video as proof that the agent involved lied. Last October, Agent Charles Exum steered his vehicle into Martinez's car, then shot her 5 times. The government called the teaching assistant with no prior criminal record a domestic terrorist and charged her with ramming. But here's where her attorneys say things aren't quite adding up. Exum told the FBI that all 5 shots went through the windshield, but according to ballistics, 3 hit the passenger side and 1 hit the back. 4 hours later, Commander Gregory Bovino emailed Exum praising him for his excellent service. And her attorney says that the timing raises some questions.
The chief of Border Patrol, while Maramar's in the hospital hooked up to IVs, hopefully going to survive, is emailing the agent saying, good afternoon. I'd like, of all the things, right? I'd like to extend an offer to extend your retirement by age 57. So what message does this send to all the agents, okay? If you shoot a protester while you're wearing the Border Patrol uniform, the first thing you're going to get within 4 hours of the shooting, first of all, there will be no investigation. Second, there'll be no administrative review.
DHS now has 6 months to respond to the complaint. If they fail to do so, Martinez will be able to move forward with the lawsuit. Anthony?
Okay, thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Early voting starts in Chicago today, ahead of the March 17th primary. Voting will be available at the new super site. That's along South State Street. Doors open at 9 this morning. And then early voting in all 50 wards in Chicago starts Monday, March 2nd.
Let's take a live look outside. I hope you enjoyed yesterday with the bright sunshine. It was so nice out there, and we're looking at a beautiful sunrise again this morning, Mike.
Right there along the lake, it is going to be a few degrees less warm than what we have inland today because we actually have a lake breeze that will be forming. I want to show you the radar. There are some returns showing up on radar over Iowa, and there are even a few showing up in west central Illinois. None of that activity is going to bother us. Most of this is actually evaporating before it hits the ground. We can actually see precipitation hundreds and thousands of feet aloft, and that's almost all of what you see there. What we have instead today is a partly to mostly cloudy sky. It will not be as perfectly sunny as yesterday, but I still think we can hit 42 degrees for the high, but it will be a little bit cooler right along the lakefront. Current temperatures, for the most part, are in the 20s, but we have seen some spots in the teens. Earlier, it was in the teens at Waukegan, up to 23 now, 30 at Midway, 23 Chicago Heights, Gary, and Maryville. Looks like Valparaiso, Michigan City, and Benton Harbor getting cheated there. You got the coldest temperatures. Benton Harbor only 13, and one of the reasons why it's a little bit colder there, instead of the wind coming off the lake, this is an offshore wind, so you're getting that cold air blowing off of snowpack to your east. Checking out this 7-day forecast, take a look at this. Today, this is the cold day of the bunch, 42, and then it's 50 plus across the board starting tomorrow. We'll have a little bit more cloud cover Saturday as a storm system misses us to the south. 52 degrees for the high for Valentine's Day. Another 52 Sunday, 54 Monday, 58 Tuesday. Tuesday night and Wednesday, a couple of scattered showers, but I don't think it will be enough to prevent us from tagging 60 degrees here next Wednesday. Anthony, Natalie?
Oh, that'll feel great. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it, sir. 7:12. We continue to follow the search for Nancy Guthrie in and around Tucson, Arizona. We're going to be speaking with former FBI agent Ross Rice about the latest developments right after this break.
Dealers.
Welcome back. Authorities continue their search for Nancy Guthrie in and around Tucson, Arizona, amid some new leads in the case. Joining me is former FBI agent Ross Rice to talk about the status of this search. Ross, thanks for being here. I want to start off by asking you, okay, we're nearly 2 weeks into her disappearance at this point. What do you think is the outlook now compared to, let's say, at this time last week?
Well, Anthony, I think the outlook for eventually solving the investigation is very good. If you look at the developments in the last couple days, the Ring doorbell camera video was obtained and released to the public. That resulted in a flood of tips from people wanting to help, thinking they might know who the kidnapper was. We had the recovery of the gloves yesterday alongside the road, not too far from, or at least on a route that would be an access point to the Guthrie residence. And then we also had a message from somebody purporting to know who the kidnapper is. That message was sent to TMZ instead of to the FBI or the Guthrie family. So there's a number of things that are happening. The negative aspect of this is, given Mrs. Guthrie's age, her pre-existing medical conditions, the need for daily medication, and then the stress that certainly was accompanying her abduction. I think as every day goes by, the outlook or chances for a successful return of her becomes a little less, but obviously we're all holding out hope that she'll be released and returned home safely.
What do you make of the ransom notes that have kind of come in? I know that TMZ has been involved with that too. Is there any way to know if these are authentic or if these are the result of all the publicity that this disappearance has gotten?
Well, that's something that investigators are certainly going to be looking at. As I understand it, the ransom notes and then the claim about knowing who the kidnapper was were sent by email, and it is possible to trace those back. I know there are anonymizers out there, different services that will mask or hide your IP address, but as with everything in the digital world, it leaves a footprint, and that footprint can be traced. So I'm sure investigators are trying to track that down if they haven't figured that out already. But I don't know. It would be a shame if somebody were trying to take advantage of this situation for their own personal gain, but it wouldn't surprise me if that were the case.
The Guthrie family has made a couple of statements since Nancy's disappearance. Ross, what is your assessment of how the family has handled this entire situation? Have they made any strategic errors, or have they handled it in a pretty intelligent way?
Oh, I think they've done a remarkable job given the circumstances. Obviously, they contacted police, the local sheriff's office, as soon as they discovered their mother was missing, and they've been working with investigators, most likely with the FBI, to coordinate the initial statements and working in unison with them to make sure the message that was getting out was appropriate and would aid the investigation.
Ross Rice, we appreciate your time and expertise. Again, I echo your sentiments. Everyone holding out hope that this is resolved in a positive way. We always appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you, Anthony.
All right, 7:19. Mike Kaplan is back in the studio as we take a live look from, I believe, the what used to be known as the Hancock Building.
875 North Michigan Avenue. It's so catchy.
Yeah.
But it rolls off the tongue. Right, yeah. You do see quite a bit of high cloud cover out there, so it's not the perfect blue sky that we had yesterday, but I don't think it's going to do much to inhibit the warm-up today. What will, winds off the lake. That water is still chilly. There's still some ice out there, so I think if you're within a couple of miles of Lake Michigan, particularly on the western shore, it will not be as warm. Satellite imagery, you can definitely see quite a bit of cloud cover across the area, but this is at least transparent to let some sunshine through there. Out the door this morning, we're looking at mainly 20s. There is 30 at Midway, but 23 at Chicago Heights and Gary, 25 at O'Hare, Aurora 23, and Woodstock it's 22. LaSalle, Peru, 28 degrees. Later today, you're one of the spots going to get a little bit warmer. I think you're good for upper 40s there today. Most of Chicagoland kind of low 40s. It will be cooler. There you can see near the lakefront, mid and upper 30s are going to be likely. But this is, as I said yesterday, 2 days, coldest days, quote unquote, in the entire period. Look what happens starting tomorrow. It is a run, not just a one-day thing, a run of unseasonable warmth here. 50s plus tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. These 2 days right there could be really warm if we get enough sunshine. 58 on Tuesday and maybe up to 60 degrees on Wednesday. There is a chance for some rain Tuesday night and Wednesday, but it will be rain. There is 0 snow in this forecast. All right, looks like the travel times are beginning to climb, which we expect this time of morning.
Indeed. It tends to happen after 7 o'clock. Here are your drive times if you're coming in on the Kennedy. It's a 47-minute ride from O'Hare to downtown. Similar drive time on the inbound Eisenhower. You're at 45 minutes from Route 390 to downtown. On the Stevenson, 41 minutes, I-355 to DuSable Lakeshore Drive. On the Dan Ryan, your drive time between 95th and downtown is at 33 minutes. And the good news is that Southwest service on the Metro is back up and running after that massive train derailment that happened yesterday.
Amazon deliveries by drone will soon be coming to the suburbs, but only for specific areas. We'll explain when we come back. Welcome back. It's now 7:25. Attorney General Pam Bondi was on the hot seat on Capitol Hill. She went back and forth with Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee on a number of issues, including immigration enforcement. and the Epstein files. Bondi has been criticized for the DOJ redactions in the 3 million Epstein documents released so far, protecting names of the accused while failing to redact personal information and photos of the victims.
The quality of justice in America depends on the character of our government. Please do your job and bring the Department of Justice back from the brink.
If you brought us a victim's name that was inadvertently released, we immediately redacted it. All members of Congress, as you know, are invited to visit DOJ to see for yourselves.
The hours-long hearing yesterday mostly resulted in the Attorney General trading insults with Democrats.
Other news, actor James Van Der Beek has died after battling colorectal cancer. His wife announced his death via Instagram, and she wrote that he, quote, met his final days with courage, faith, and grace. He first shared his colorectal cancer diagnosis back in November of 2024 and spoke often about wanting to put the spotlight on early detection. Van Der Beek was a father of 6 children. He was best known for his roles in Dawson's Creek and the hit film Varsity Blues. James Van Der Beek was 48 years old.
Portillo's appointing a new CEO. Brett Patterson will take over starting February 23rd. He has held executive roles at Outback Steakhouse, Ruby Tuesday, and Olive Garden. Back in September, Portillo's announced the departure of CEO Michael Osanloo amid slumping sales. Amazon deliveries by drone coming to the suburbs. Amazon announced Prime Air deliveries are going to begin this summer. It'll be available to residents who live within a 7.5-mile radius of the fulfillment centers in Markham and Matson. Deliveries could be made within just 2 hours. Right now, Prime customers do have to pay $4.99 for drone delivery. The drones can carry packages up to 5 pounds.
Darn, because that rules out me being able to get my kitty litter delivered.
That's
It's a little heavier than 5 pounds, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Sad news about James Van Der Beek.
Yeah.
His first movie role, my high school friend Pat Johnson directed him in a movie called Angus in 1995. Pat wrote a wonderful tribute to how that young actor was on set with him in that movie back in 1995. So look up Pat Johnson up on Facebook. He wrote a really nice thing about James Van Der Beek. We have beautiful weather on the way, not as sunny as yesterday, but if it's too cool for you now, wait till you see the numbers coming up in the extended forecast straight ahead.
World.com/tickets.
Welcome back. A woman shot by a Customs and Border Patrol officer says she is suing the government, while her attorney claims that federal agents lied about what happened.
Plus, a new report highlights the growing problem of anti-Semitism in the United States. We're going to break down the findings.
But first, it is time for people in Chicago to cast their ballots. That was the video we were seeing moments ago. Today, marking the first day of early voting for the March primary.
Saquon is live with everything you need to know for us this morning. She is live at the new super site that you can swing by today. Hey, Say.
Hey, good morning to you guys. Yeah, as you mentioned, we are just outside of that brand new super site location here on State and Adams, which does replace that old site that many of us are familiar with on Clark and Lake. But this is where people downtown can vote early today when the doors open up in just a little less than 2 hours now. There is another place downtown where people can vote early today. That's that county administration building on Washington. And in just a little less than a month here, guys, on March 2nd, early voting will open up at sites in all 50 wards. Any voter who lives in Chicago can cast a ballot at any of the early voting sites available, no matter where they live in the city. Max Bever with Chicago Board of Elections actually joined Good Day Chicago just earlier this week and broke down the things you'll need to bring with you when you head to the polls today.
So while you might be done having a paper registration, we have what's called same-day registration, and that's going to be at all of our early voting sites, at our downtown headquarters, as well as all of your precinct polling places on Election Day. So if you're getting registered, or if you need to change your name or update your address, just bring 2 forms of ID, one with your current address on it. Otherwise, if you're an active registered voter, you can just go check in the polls. You're going to put your name, make your signature, and they're going to check you in.
Now, for those of you who are looking to vote by mail, you can still request one right now. The deadline to apply for those mail-in ballots is March 12th at 5 p.m. We know the Illinois primary is going to be on March 17th, and the doors here are opening up in just a little less than 2 hours now. The doors open up at 9 o'clock this morning at the super site. Guys, back to you.
Of today's other headlines, an Aurora family says that their son is hurt after a school walkout to protest immigration enforcement turned violent. Monday's incident was all caught on camera. This is a look at it here. Aurora police say that around 1,500 students participated in the walkouts, and that some ended up blocking traffic and getting into fights. Officers say that they arrested 2 students involved and another who threw a water bottle at an officer's head. But the mother, a 15-year-old Yuvio Perez Soto, says that her son was peacefully protesting and was tackled for no reason.
In that moment, he was grabbing me by my sweater and he spun me around. Then some random officers tried to they came out of nowhere and just tackled me to the ground. They were putting all their weight on me and I couldn't breathe. I told them get off me because I couldn't breathe at all. I couldn't breathe. I just woke up and then they grabbed me. They put me back in the back of the van.
Students and community members gathered outside the Aurora Police Department on Wednesday, demanding that all charges be dropped against the teens. A Chicago woman shot by a Border Patrol agent is now suing the federal government. Attorneys for Miramar Martinez say the newly released body camera video shows that the agent lied about the circumstances leading up to the shooting. Last October, Agent Charles Exum steered his vehicle into Martinez's car, then shot her 5 times. The government called Martinez a domestic terrorist and charged her with ramming. Exum told the FBI that all 5 shots went through the windshield, but according to ballistics, that showed that 3 actually hit the passenger side and 1 hit the back. DHS now has 6 months to respond to this complaint before Martinez can move forward with the lawsuit. Time now 7:34 this morning. Checking back in with Mike. We've had some beautiful sunrises out there this morning, Mike.
We sure have. It's still beautiful out there. When the sun was a little bit lower in the sky, we had a gorgeous orange and some purple out there. I just got a photo from one of my friends at the Naval Air Base, or the Naval Base in Great Lakes. I'm going to share that during the night. I've got some other great photos coming up here in a couple minutes. But hopefully you like what you see in terms of the weather. High pressure in control. This little weak system is going to pass off to our south and west. Not going to bother us. It'll bring some of these high clouds that you're seeing out there right now into our sky. But by the time we get to tomorrow, that thing is out of here. So today, you're going to have to settle for low 40s. Well, it'll be a little cooler at the lakefront. Still warmer than normal. Tomorrow, with all that sunshine, we're going for the low 50s. Wow. This storm system still looks like a mist to our south. It's a rainmaker, not a snowmaker, and that's going to be moving close to our area on Saturday, but it still looks like a central Illinois deal. Here, this is the extended temperature outlook for February 20th through the 26th, and warmer than normal temperatures are likely to continue for most of, if not all of that week, on top of what you already know is on the way for this week. 42 today, a little cooler at the lakefront, partly to mostly cloudy skies, but there will be some sun. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 28 degrees, very little, if any, wind. 52 tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday for President's Day. Tuesday and Wednesday should be even warmer, with a chance of getting to 60, provided it's not raining that much. And right now, I think it's just a few scattered showers Tuesday night into Wednesday. 3 lovely photos that I want to share with you. How about this view? This is almost like my favorite commercial from the Super Bowl when that eagle takes off of the horse's back in the Budweiser ad. Glenn Cowpert, though, captured this one flying over Fulton. It's out there by the Lock and Dam. I forget which number it is, by the Mississippi River. The bald eagles congregate there this time of year. Beautiful shot there, Glenn. Next up, this is a nice icy shot here. Jan Eigenfeld reminds us, not quite beach weather yet. This is Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, not far from Kenosha. And you can see some of the ice that has gathered there up against the shore, but still a lot of open water on Lake Michigan. And from my buddy Vic Berardi, he is an accomplished bird photographer. He monitors hawk activity, mainly in kind of the Highland Park and Fort Sheridan areas. He was out and found a snowy owl. And this is a bird that just a few years ago, no one had ever seen him around here. And now they keep coming farther and farther south. And it's almost like that bird just posed for you there, Vic. Hopefully you and your lovely bride enjoy some more bird photography. Thanks for letting us share that picture. Not sure the picture is as pretty as it was earlier on the roads. The travel times are building. We got more of Good Day for you right after this.
got junk.
Welcome back to Good Day Chicago. The American Jewish Committee just put out its latest report on the state of anti-Semitism in America, and it shows a vast majority of American Jews feel less safe in the United States. Sarah Van Loon is regional director of the committee, and she's here to break down the findings. Sarah, talk a little bit about how a policy change maybe could impact the future numbers of this report and what it showcases.
Thanks so much for having me. This report is a warning sign, and it is showing the cracks in a democratic society that we have. There's opportunities for folks to take at all levels of society, whether you're a community leader, a local elected official, all the way to our federal government. There's steps that everyone can take to help counter this form of hatred, because this hatred does not just stay with the Jewish community. Our survey finds that when American Jews feel more unsafe in America, that portends very poorly for the rest of our country.
What do you think has contributed to that feeling?
Well, for one thing, 9 in 10 American Jews feel more afraid in America after 3 major terror attacks that happened against the Jewish community just in the past year. We're talking the firebombing of the Pennsylvania governor's home, the murder outside of the Capitol Museum in Washington, D.C., and the arson attack at the rally in Boulder, Colorado. We also can't forget what happened here in Chicago when a Jewish man walking to synagogue was shot just trying to go and worship. This is a problem that is plaguing all of society. But this is not just a Jewish problem, because anti-Semites don't confine their hatred just to Jews. And the violence that erupts from this hate does not only affect us, it permeates and tears at the very fabric of our society.
Who was questioned for this survey, and was it widespread throughout the United States, rural and urban areas?
It absolutely was. We partnered with SSRS, the leading research firm, and we surveyed folks all across America at all levels through both phone and email, all the ways that we can engage with people to get the largest sample size possible. And this is a little in the weeds, but with less than 4% a margin of error, this is data that you can trust.
What can people do to take action? You mentioned that it impacts every single one of us.
It absolutely does. The simplest way is to get to know your neighbor. AJC's survey found that if someone knows a Jewish person, they're more likely to understand what anti-Semitism is, be able to define it, and take steps to combat it. There's also a whole of society approach, and at ajc.org, you can check out our action plans that everyone can take advantage of. We've got opportunities for elected officials at local, state, and federal levels, religious leaders, and those just here in our community, fellow educators. There's things that everyone can do, and it can be just as simple as getting to know your neighbor.
I mentioned policy choices off the top, but let's dig into that very quickly a little closer. Do you think that if maybe the punishment for hate crimes was more intense, that maybe this survey, we wouldn't see numbers like this? Or what kind of policy decisions need to be made here?
I think there's a lot of different policy decisions that can be out there. And one is a proposal that AJC is working forward in Congress that's bipartisan. We're a nonpartisan organization because we know that hate doesn't care whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. And so one of those ways is to help combat hate that you're seeing on social media. For the first time in AJC's survey, more than 7 in 10 American Jews were the target of anti-Semitism on social media. So we're working on passing a bipartisan bill that will hold social media companies accountable for the hatred that's spreading on their platforms. So whether we're seeing that enforced more strongly here in Chicago or federally, there needs to be action taken at all different points, not just in how someone gets charged with hate.
I see. All right, good points there. Sarah, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you for having me.
And here's a look at what's coming up on Good Day Chicago at 8 and 9. Keep it right here. Welcome back, 7:48 now, and we've got some good news. Service on the Southwest Metro line is resuming this morning following a pretty serious train derailment yesterday near Chicago Ridge.
Yeah, it happened yesterday morning between Ridgeland and Central Avenues. The train, operated by CSX, had 10 cars derail, and then crews from both Metra and CSX worked together to remove debris from the area. An investigation is underway now into the cause.
The Chicago woman shot by a Border Patrol agent is filing a federal complaint. This is the first step toward a lawsuit seeking tens of millions of dollars. Attorneys for Marimar Martinez point to the body cam video as proof that the agent lied.
Early voting starts in Chicago today ahead of the March 17th primary. Voting will be available at the new super site along South State Street. Doors open in just over an hour. They open at 9 o'clock. Early voting in all 50 wards in Chicago. That starts Monday, March 2nd.
Just 5 miles west of downtown Chicago, fear of immigration enforcement is changing daily life in Little Village. But now a group of young volunteers is patrolling the streets with whistles, warning neighbors when agents are nearby. The group calls themselves the Icebreakers. Many are college students and young adults, some children of immigrant parents who say fear in their homes pushed them to act. Volunteers check locations where agents are often spotted, and they rely on tips from residents. And then when they believe federal agents are in the area, whistles sound and alerts spread across social media, urging families to get inside and lock their doors. The group says it does not interfere when agents present a signed warrant. And despite the risks, they say protecting their neighbors is worth it.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely scared. And now that we're seeing an increase in violence against women and them just not caring at all, I don't really know what that's going to look like in the future. All I know is that we're taking the necessary precautions, and we are patrolling in groups of 2 or 3.
Organizers say nearly 200 volunteers now take part. It is funded by community donations. They also connect families with legal help, and they provide basic resources. You can learn more about their efforts by going to fox32chicago.com.
All right, the airspace over El Paso, Texas has reopened after an initial warning confused a lot of folks about a 10-day closure for special security reasons. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy blamed a Mexican cartel drone for this pause and this closure of airspace. However, sources tell Fox News that the incident may have actually been caused by a dispute over Pentagon drone tests.
Illinois is suing the Trump administration over cuts to health care grants. The administration is cutting more than $100 million. Those grants are used by states to track disease outbreaks, improve data systems, and collect public health data. California, Colorado, and Minnesota also filed lawsuits. Hi, Jake.
Hey guys, coming up, we are live out here at Navy Pier. We are 2 days away from Valentine's Day, and if you're starting to panic, guess what? Navy Pier's got you covered. It's called Love on the Lake. It's basically one-stop shopping for everything you need out here on Valentine's Day. There's going to be some fireworks. The Centennial Wheel's going to be lit up in Valentine's Day colors, but we're going to take you live inside a restaurant that's going to have you covered with an amazing 3-course dinner. Also, a floating sauna out here. You don't need to go anywhere else on Valentine's Day other than right here at Navy Pier, and we're going to tell you everything you need to know. It's called Love on the Lake. We'll tell you more in the next hour of Good Day Chicago.
Welcome back to Good Day Chicago. Portage, Indiana, the latest city to lay out a proposal for the Bears in their search for a new stadium.
I'm digging the title and the name of their proposal. They're calling it Hallis Harbor, and this would be a mixed-use sports and entertainment district. Portage has a partner to finance the stadium privately, and it would be located on 300 acres of city-owned land. Here's the story behind the title there, the name. Public marinas would allow fans to travel there by boat. And this is a long shot, but lawmakers in Iowa have also introduced a bill with the hopes of luring the Bears across the western state line. All right, meantime, Bears quarterback Caleb Williams is going to be involved in NBA All-Star Weekend. He is going to be taking part in the celebrity three-point shootout. All-Star Weekend festivities kick off tomorrow with the three-point contest tomorrow night. All-Star Weekend is held in L.A.
So excited about that. 3 kids getting a taste of spring baseball. The Cubs surprised 3 Advocate Children's Hospital patients with news that they are going to spring training in Mesa, Arizona. Cubs center fielder Pete Crow Armstrong made the announcement in a special video.
The Cubs and Advocate Healthcare are inviting you on an all-expenses paid trip down to spring training in Arizona. With that said, you report February 18th.
These kids and their families will get the VIP treatment for 4 days with the team. We've got plenty more Good Day Chicago ahead for you. Keep it right here.